So, not everybody on my FYP knows this about me, but I do read a lot of books. Like last year, I read a total of like 15 books, and most of them were pretty big books. I normally don't read fiction, but someone suggested that I should do some book reviews. So I did grab this book from the dollar store, actually. Towards the end of last year, and decided to read it. I thought I was grabbing a typical Christian novel due to the name, and I read the inside of it where it's talking about time-traveling crusader, and it sounded really interesting, so I decided to give it a read. Now, I can't enunciate enough that this is not your average Christian novel. The main character's name is Hexen Sabbath, which is both ironic and unironic at the same time, because he is a notorious sinner and crusader. I think an 11th century crusader. And he's a notorious sinner that likes to hang out at, the brothels and fills his heart with lust, loves to go to war and murder people. And so this book is actually way more violent than I expected. And I can't say it was uninteresting. When it comes to some bad points I have to say about it, some of the characters kind of just drop out of thin air, and it can be hard to follow at certain points. But overall, I did enjoy reading this book. There's a little bit more quote-unquote corn in it than I expected. It's not my typical cup of tea. I usually read nonfiction. I read a lot of like finance books, self-help books, stuff like that. But there's some really cool scenes. They kind of wrote it almost like a movie or an anime. I did get a chance to connect with the author and got to ask him some questions about it. I asked him, I was like, hey, is this, I was like, this book is totally bonkers. Like, is this anime influenced? And he said it was definitely anime influenced. So if you like anime, you like action scenes, you like well-descripted, fighting with each other, it's definitely a book for you. As for what the book's about, he goes back in time. He has this superpower, if you will, where he cannot die on the Sabbath day. Or, excuse me, I take that back. I had to double check. It's that the only day he can die is on the Sabbath day. Any other day, he's said to be like kind of immortal. And this is because his mom was a witch that had him with a priest. So he had like this strange superpower where if he was going to die, he cannot die on a typical day of the week, just the Sabbath day. But there's some really cool fight scenes in it. Like, for example, when he time travels, to current day Manhattan, because he ends up dying and then he gets a second chance, and he time travels to current day and he gets a mission from God, where he has to go out and kill the 7 deadly sins. And the 7 deadly sins are all manifested in human form. So it's pretty cool. Like, for example, whenever he fights greed, like that fight scene's totally bonkers. Greed, mouth goes wide open. He's got these sharp teeth like an anime character. And they have this really cool fight scene at the Wall Street Bull, which is probably like my favorite fight scene throughout the book. But, yeah, it's definitely kind of a rare gem I found at the dollar store, because usually dollar store books kind of suck. I've tried them out a few times and I usually don't enjoy them, but this book did keep me entertained. I was pretty surprised. I did enjoy reading it. There's some stuff in it that, I didn't like, but it's definitely a little bonkers. But I mean, the bonkers part is what I liked, but they kind of stressed out some of the sexual fantasy scenes a little bit too much. So I guess it's good for both men and women, I think, because men really like the archaic battles, and women, what kind of books they read. But the name of the book's Sabbath by Nick Mamatas. If you're interested, you can find this on eBay. You probably won't find it for $1, or maybe it's at a Dollar Tree near you. But yeah, if you read fiction, it's definitely something to pick up. It only took me a few days to read. And that does it. Thanks for watching. God bless you, and don't sin to the degree that Hex and Sabbath does in this book, because I don't want to ruin the ending for you.